All right, so you wrote an offer and it got accepted. What now? Well, now you're in the due diligence period. During the due diligence period is where you are going to work through all the contingencies that you and your realtor wrote in your offer to ensure that this property is the right one for you. The most common contingencies in an offer that you're going to see are, first, the earnest money deposit. This ensures to the seller that you are serious as a buyer about their property, and it helps the seller feel a little bit more comfortable about going through the due diligence process with you. This is typically done within the first 3 to 5 days after the offer is accepted. Next is going to be the title commitment. Your realtor is going to receive the title commitment from the title company used in this transaction, and they're going to make sure that the seller owns the property and that they are able to sell the property to you. It's also going to figure out if there's any restrictions on the property and anything else that may be of concern before you get to closing. We don't want any surprises at closing. Next is the home inspection. This typically takes place within about 3 weeks of the offer being accepted, depending on inspector availability. An inspection is going to help you figure out what is wrong with the property that you don't really get from a first glance when you went through the tour or the open house. So the inspector is going to look at, the electric, the plumbing, make sure that everything's up to code and that there's no factors that are going to be of concern for you when you get to closing and it becomes your house. After you get the inspection report back from the inspector, you have the opportunity to provide the seller a list of remedies that you'd like done before you're comfortable moving forward with the transaction. These remedies can include repairs, maintenance, any seller credits you'd like to ask for after seeing the inspection report, mold mitigation, etc. After you provide the seller with your requested remedies, they have the chance to look at it and negotiate with you. So this is a period where there can be some back and forth, but ultimately, if you guys can reach an agreement, the transaction can move forward. However, if you don't reach an agreement, the transaction is terminated. Another common contingency is the appraisal. This is generally required if you're using bank financing. However, if you're using cash, it's not necessarily required. However, it can be good for you as the buyer for peace of mind later on down the road that you know how much your house is worth and that you didn't overpay.